Why don't the debt collectors just drop your case when you fight back? Brought to you by Kenneth Chabert at yourlegallegup.com. Your advantage if you're being sued by debt collectors. If you've read my articles or watched my videos, you know that I believe that debt collectors rarely, if ever, start out with what they need to win a case. And they can almost never get what they need in a cost-effective way if you defend yourself intelligently. And by that I mean if you know a little bit about what you're doing. In other words, I believe that in most cases, if you defend yourself with a little help that my site and materials are designed to provide, the debt collectors cannot win their case against you in a way that makes money for them. So here's a question. Why don't they just drop your case as soon as you begin defending yourself intelligently? Think of the blackmailer who exposes his victim for nothing, rather than accept a payment lower than demanded. Think of a gambler betting on a losing hand. Sometimes it's good business to lose money. And sometimes it's bad business to give up too soon. The debt collectors are operating a scam, let's say, on a huge scale. I guess they couldn't win 10% of their cases on a profitable basis if the people they were suing would resist intelligently. And no, that isn't to say that the debt collectors couldn't win their cases or even shouldn't win them sometimes. But the model of their business is such that they buy huge amounts of debt without really knowing what sort of proof, if any, exists to support that debt. And proving cases in a court of law in the face of intelligent and determined opposition is an expensive and risky proposition, even when all the documents exist, and in debt law, they often do not. Even where there are high-priced lawyers on both sides of big-time commercial disputes, cases very rarely go to trial. They almost always settle at a significant discount to what one side demanded. That's life in the real world. Lawyers are expensive and lawsuits are wasteful and bitter. Most people and businesses shun them. But not so in the make-believe world of debt litigation. There, the debt collectors get judgments for pretty much everything they ask for. Something like 80 or 90% of the time, they manage to get the suit served. And this is all the more bizarre because their business model suggests that they would seldom, if ever, actually win the cases. What gives? Pain. Pain and fear. The debt collectors are very much like extortionists, blackmailers, in that they strike terror into the hearts of their victims. People rightly fear lawsuits, and people without money fear them more than people with money. So what could mess up a blackmailer or a debt collector? A reputation as a soft touch. Imagine what would happen if a blackmailer gave in to every victim claiming a lack of money. The same thing that would happen to a debt collector who dropped every case where someone filed an answer in counterclaim. They'd get a reputation for giving up, and that would ruin the business. In the case of the debt collectors, it might eventually reverse the strange numbers that make the whole multi-billion-dollar business so profitable. They can't let that happen. And that is why debt collectors rarely just drop your case, although they do sometimes, and you could hope for it. If you fight your case with enough determination, though, they will seldom feel the need to go all the way to trial. They want to manage their reputations, but they don't want to lose a lot of money while they're doing it, especially since losing a lot of cases after trial might be as bad for them as settling too easily. That means that they will almost always eventually either drop your case or offer you the kind of settlement you could actually afford to pay. Pennies on the dollar. Of course, intelligent defense is important. You need some threat of actually winning. We can help with that. If you keep at it, there's a good chance they'll drop the case entirely if you refuse to settle. But there may come a time and price, balanced against the risk, where it makes sense for you to settle just to end the fight and get on with your life. That's what happens in the real world of law. Protect what's yours and don't let the debt collectors rip you off. My site and materials can help. Go to yourlegallegup.com. Get my litigation manual and forums, or get the videos and defend yourself. You'll be glad that you did. You may not consider this video or anything I say in this or any video as legal advice. I cannot give you legal advice, but as a former lawyer, I do know the legal process and debt law very well. So use what I say as a source of information and apply your own judgment to your case. To get more help on fighting debt collectors and their lawsuits, go to yourlegallegup.com. Get my litigation manual and forms. If you appreciate this video, please take a second and like it, subscribe, and friend me, as these things will help others find my videos and begin to learn more about the debt litigation process. Defend yourself from the debt collectors. On Facebook or YouTube, as these things help others find my videos and begin to learn more about the debt litigation process. Defend yourself from the debt collectors.